This has to be one of the lesser known video game cartoons out there, but Donkey Kong Country got its own animated series. I only saw a few episodes on Fox Kids before it suddenly disappeared, but I was able to catch further episodes on cable TV. Why did I watch it? Purely out of morbid curiosity. Because this show is terrible.
I will give it this though. I don't hate the theme song. It's weirdly catchy, and the tone of the music tells you everything you need to know. It shows all the heroes, and then switches to show the bad guys, and the music is clear on what to expect from these characters. But that doesn't stop the first episode from being filled with exposition. It opens with Cranky Kong jamming on an organ and spouting out more information than we'd ever need to a kid's cartoon show. The whole premise of the show centers around the crystal coconut, as whoever has that gets to rule the land of Congo Bongo. Donkey Kong is set to be the next ruler, and King K. Rool is constantly trying to get it. Why does the crystal coconut suddenly exist again? Was the premise of stealing bananas not strong enough for a kid's cartoon show about gorillas? Sure, crystal coconuts became a thing in Donkey Kong 64, but they were everywhere. In this show, there's only one, and it has whatever magic power they needed to have. This includes granting wishes, allowing someone to use astral projection, telling the future, bounce like a ball, and give dating advice. It's plot convenience at its finest. The main characters are, obviously, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. DK is pretty much what you would expect, a super strong guy who is extremely dumb.
If he tries to get his scaly claws on the crystal coconut, he'll have to get past me first.
He comes up with the stupidest plans and can't figure out the obvious. Diddy Kong certainly acts like that little brother who is trying way too hard to hang out with Donkey Kong, only somehow more annoying.
You're jealous, green.
By the way, if Diddy Kong's voice sounds familiar to you, it's because it's the same one used for Yoshi in the Super Mario World cartoon.
But I'm hungry. Bamboo good.
I can't tell which is worse. Cranky Kong is alright, actually. He certainly is cranky.
I got the evidence right here, you bumbling baboon!
And his voice is pretty much what I would expect him to sound like. Good on you, cartoon! Over on the villain side, there's King K. Rool, who keeps being called K-Rool, as if it were one word.
Karul?
Karoo!
King Karul!
He acts all self-important, but in the end, he's kind of dumb. His two henchmen are lifted straight from the game, General Clump and Crusha. Clump acts like an army general at all times, but constantly screws up because he's an idiot, and Crusha is the stereotypical big, strong, dumb guy, even more so than Donkey Kong.
Is today Toaster Day?
If you've noticed a running theme in this show, it's that everybody is stupid. Almost all of the conflicts that come up is because nobody has enough common sense to realize how easy it is to fix the situation. It's rather hard to enjoy a show when pretty much everybody is an idiot. Some additional characters include Funky Kong, who actually resembles himself from the game by having funky sprites and talks like a surfer dude, just as you would imagine. There's also Candy Kong, of course. She works at the Barrel Factory, which is owned by Bluster Kong. Who is Bluster? Good question! Allow sudden Cranky Kong exposition to fill you in.
When it comes to candy, Buster is Donkey Kong's biggest competition.
Bluster Kong is the worst goddamn thing about this show. Aside from never existing before, he looks like a Donkey Kong Country fandom character stolen from DeviantArt and put into the show. Bluster Kong OC, do not steal. He owns the Barrel Factory, is obnoxious, and is constantly trying to bang Candy Kong.
Unless you want to play hooky with me. 2 tickets, the Banana Slammers, you and me, Candy.
Speaking of who, Candy Kong is a total bitch. She promises dates with Donkey Kong all the time, but at the slightest hint of an accident or something completely out of DK's control, she gets all pissy and calls it off.
The one that I slipped on. The one on your head, you baboon. Our date's off. Don't call me. Don't drop by. Ever.
Ever?
Man, Donkey, look elsewhere. No amount of hairy cleavage will ever make Candy Kong worth it. By the way, you've probably noticed that the animation is terrifying. It's hard to peg down, but nothing about the characters seem right. Their faces, their expressions, their body movements. At no point in the entire series does the lip syncing even remotely match what they're saying.
What for? Who's gonna challenge? Oh, me.
Nobody has any weight in their movements, making everything they do seem throaty. I totally respect their decision to go with 3D computer-generated graphics though. This better resembles the pre-rendered digitized graphics of the Super Nintendo games, so it actually makes sense. Props to them for having that kind of thought process. But they could at least put some effort into it. I know the easy argument is that, well, this was the mid-90s. Computer-generated cartoons were hard to do then. This is as good as it gets. Counter-argument, reboot. This show came out years earlier, was the very first CG cartoon, and was done infinitely better. By the way, I love this show, it's one of my favorites. So if the guys behind Reboot could make something good with a little more effort, so could have Donkey Kong Country. Instead, we just get whatever this is. Also, this show gets weird. In the very first episode, King K. Rool shows up to steal the all-powerful, do-whatever-it-wants Crystal Coconut, but gets defeated by Donkey Kong because of barrel traps. K. Rool figures the only way to defeat him is to get rid of his massive strength. He finds a way thanks to a book of curses by giving him a haircut. To trick him into this, he builds a robot Candy Kong, who succeeds, and confirms that DK's hair thingy is actually part of his skull. He becomes super weak, so Cranky Kong creates a potion that will cure him, but it must be given to him by the person who cursed him originally. So the real Candy Kong goes to give it to DK, and that's when Bluster is a jackass and spills it on the ground. It sprouts a banana tree, DK eats one of the bananas, and he's instantly cured, meaning Candy Kong didn't even need to give it to him in the first place. So to recap, the very first episode of this cartoon show has magic curses, robot clones, and alchemy, based on a gorilla who likes bananas a lot. The show then goes on to have Cranky Kong make a youth potion so he can become young, and Donkey Kong become a deformed baby, a Kung Fu Master Kong, a second robot, and Eddie, the mean old Yeti. Even with all of these bizarre premises, the plot of every episode comes down to one of two things. Donkey Kong trying to protect the coconut and f***ing it up, or Donkey Kong trying to get a date with Candy Kong and f***ing it up. But that doesn't mean the weirdness stops there. There's an episode in which K. Rool tricks everyone into being mad at Donkey Kong. This includes having Crusher use his impeccable impersonation skills to sound like Donkey Kong hitting on Dixie Kong.
Come on, put a lip lock on me, Dixie. That chimp Diddy will never know.
You lousy double-crossing two-timing! Wait till Diddy gets a load of this!
What? What did I say?
This is wrong on so many levels. Oh yeah, Dixie Kong shows up from time to time.
Hey, Dix!
What?
Hey, Dix!
Dicks.
Dix!
Dicks.
I think the most bizarre thing about this whole series is that in every episode, there's a musical number.
I wanna know the secrets that the crystal holds and all the magic power that it brings.
Twice! 2 songs in every single episode.
I'm Candy Kong's clone, we look like we're one and the same.
They never happen naturally. You can tell that the script for any given episode pretty much says, song goes here.
See here, look what you've done now. You have brought the wrath of Inka-Dinka-Doo on down.
How can such a pretty thing as this make things really go amiss? All I want is Candy's kiss.
They range from bad to god-awful. Now the terrible lip-syncing and goofy animations are set to music.
I can do most anything that Donkey Kong can do.
I'll say this though, Donkey Kong's singing voice is actually pretty good, even if it is a different actor.
You can't get away with this monkey business.
At least he sings well, even if the actual song isn't very good.
I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
Along with the 2 songs in every episode, there also has to be, what else? A catchphrase. And in this cartoon, it's Donkey Kong exclaiming, "Banana Slamma."
You were saying bananas!
It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so overused. He even shouts "Banana Slamma" even when there is absolutely zero slamming actually happening.
Banana slammer!
For how not good the show is, it still did surprisingly well. it somehow still got 2 seasons with a total of 40 episodes. I have no idea how they managed that, though I hear that the show was a big hit in Canada for some reason. So how does the series end? How else? A clip show. Yep, the final episode is just showing flashbacks to the rest of the series. It's like the animators heard they were being shut down and said, "Sweet, we're doing a clip show. I'm clocking out early. I'm done. See ya."
I certainly felt my brain clock out early as I was watching this again. This is one of those cartoons that I actually don't regret missing out on as I was growing up. That's why my final rating for this show is a banana with brown spots out of 10. At first thought, you probably think, it's probably fine to eat. But then you notice all the brown spots and you think, never mind, that looks gross, throw it away. That's the Donkey Kong cartoon. You'd think it'd be fine, but it just has too many brown spots all over it. The awful animation, non-existent lip syncing, and the overabundance of songs mar it the most. More importantly, the show as a whole hardly resembles the game, and the plots are dumb, with no lasting impact, overarching stories, or the slightest hint of character development. It never really gets much better. In fact, in the second season, some of the characters look noticeably worse. This particular cartoon is mostly forgotten, and that's for the best. I wish the few episodes I actually saw as a kid didn't stick with me so much, because then I wouldn't have remembered the show and wanted to revisit it. Although I will say, the one thing that will always stick with me is that dumbass theme song.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please subscribe for more. It's free for you and it means a lot to me. And if you're in the mood to watch some more videos, you can check out the one I did on the Mortal Kombat cartoons. Or for something different, I recommend the one my friend Peanut Butter Gamer did on the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Go ahead and give them a click.